Let's get into the back page of the papers. Of course, dominated by Carlos Alcaraz after winning at SW19 yesterday. The back page of the Sun going for new kid beats the GOAT. Alcaraz shocks jock in SW19 thriller. The back page of the Times going for the kid beats the GOAT. Very similar. Back page of the Mirror, GOAT Buster, cute, I like it. And also back page of the Daily Mail this morning, the Giant Slayer, new dawn as King Carlos 20 dethrones mighty Novak in 5-set epic. Going inside the Mail as well, a brilliant piece this morning by Oliver Holt. Now, if you didn't get to see the whole match yesterday, which I didn't, I was kind of dipping in and out and trying to focus on it.
Oh, I couldn't take my eyes off it.
I mean, it was incredible. But the way Oliver Holt breaks it all down is simply brilliant, and I think dethrone is the way he really sets it out. He says to witness his defeat by Carlos Alcaraz in centre court is an epic Wimbledon men's singles final. Was about more than just the defeat of a great champion by a force of nature. 16 years his junior, a kid who seems destined to rule the tennis world in his stead for many years to come. He goes on to say, just when he'd finally seen off Federer and Rafa Nadal, just when he thought he might have a free run at moving further ahead in the all-time list of slams won, he discovered that the pretender to his throne is a pretender no more. He is the real deal. The common denominator in all of the papers by all of the journalists this morning, that Alcaraz is this 20-year-old super freak who's got a long career ahead of them. Also what he said as well, in the end, Djokovic looked worn down by Alcaraz, worn down by everything. It was him against the world, him against the crowd, which we often see from Novak Djokovic as well.
Well, I think it's a bit unfair the way he gets treated.
He brings that on himself.
Do you think though, Shebahn?
He loves it.
Tell us, Shebahn, why does he get so much stick then? Because we were just talking about it.
He goes, I mean, go back to the Australian Open, for example, a couple of years ago when COVID happened, and he was the one who thought, I'll get in, or I can go and do what I want, you know. And then in the end, he was deported out of Australia. He wouldn't get the vaccination. They had that rule in place. Novak Djokovic was sent to test it. He doesn't ever seem to go with the grain. Part of me likes that about sports people.
What's wrong with that? Why do you get booed for that?
He can be a little bit controversial, but also what he was doing yesterday, for example, when the cheers were coming for Alcaraz, he's putting his ears out, you know, why aren't you cheering for me? Then he starts blowing kisses at the fans. It's like the pantomime villain. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think sports needs it, and I think it was Djokovic's way of dealing with going, hold on a minute, this might not actually work out for me today, because I think a lot of us went into the match yesterday thinking Carlos Alcaraz is absolutely incredible, he's got a long career ahead of him, but it's likely that Djokovic will win this. And it all changed. But what Oliver Holt goes on to say was when Alcaraz broke him in the third set of the fifth, it was as Djokovic finally sensed that he had lost his power. He walked towards the chair and smashed his racket into the net post so hard that it buckled. Even for him to show that frustration with his experience, the crowd going against him, the young kids starting to get the better of him, smash up that racket. He made that racket smash look so easy as well. And Oliver,
he destroyed that racket.
I mean,
does he get stick everywhere, not just in England? Does he get it in America? And
everybody appreciates Djokovic for how incredible he is. I mean, he's a king of tennis. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of how he can divide people, you know, he can be quite an interesting character. So brilliant pieces all over the back pages of the papers today. Would recommend it. Read Oliver Holt's as well. That's really good fun, and he really explains it greatly.
We're not going to talk about Harry Maguire, Shebahn.
We are going to talk about Harry Maguire in great detail at 6:45, because back page of the Sun is over and out. Charlie Wyatt saying that fuming Maguire to quit United after captain acts. Some of the other papers conflicting that, saying that he's going to stay and he's going to work hard. So let's do a full piece on that at 6:45. Also back page of the Sun as well today, Jamie. We're gonna do it. Jake Sanders saying that Arsene Wenger says big spending Arsenal will win the Premier League this season.
What are you laughing at?
Why is that such a laughing matter to you?
Come on.
Well, they're in with the show.
A bit carried away, aren't they, these Arsenal fans?
Well,
what if a bit carried away?
What if Kyle Walker goes and Mahrez?
So?
Can they replace him?
Yeah, of course they can replace them. He didn't even play Kyle Walker in most of the games last season. He played him towards the end.
But he's a top player.
Yeah, I love Kyle Walker, but he can be replaced. You know, they'll replace him in a certain fashion. Mahrez, again, I mean, you've got Phil Foden.
You can't be laughing at Arsene Wenger.
No, I just think everyone's getting a little bit carried away. They've signed Declan Rice. Brilliant signing, don't get me wrong. I'm jealous of it being a Spurs fan. But let's not get carried away. You know, they've still got a long way to go. The teams are all improving this season. Everyone's improving.
But they have added a bit of strength and depth as well. With bringing in
Kai Havertz, he can't hit a barn door.
I know, we hear that. But was he used in a certain position at Chelsea that wasn't as...
Well, he wasn't good enough, so they got rid of him.
He wasn't good enough, but he won them a Champions League. You've got to give him the grace of that. He has scored them big goals in important moments.
I can see him playing where Xhaka played, making runs down that left channel, ghosting into the box.
So Havertz is a centre mid now?
Well, I think he's a goal scoring. He comes late, a bit like late runs.
He's a centre mid?
No, he's sort of a attacking midfield player, I think he is.
I'm telling you now, Havertz will be a flop at Arsenal.
Yuri Timber as well?
Yeah.
Yuri Timber, a very, very good sign. I mean, he's close to 200 million now, is Mikel Arteta in his spend this window. I don't think he's doing this to finish second
again. By the way, he spent 400 altogether.
But
they're on the right road.
They're going in the right direction, and recruitment has been decent. Declan Rice, great signing. Havertz, not so sure. Don't think that's going to work out. Don't think he's going to fit into their mould. Let's not get carried away with Declan Rice, though. He's a top player. You signed him from West Ham. You ain't signed Luka Modric. You ain't signed Steven Gerrard. You know, you've signed a top player.
But you've signed the future England captain. You would say that.
Is he?
Have you not said this before?
England
I've not heard you say that. He's the future of England. He's the future England captain.
No, I've not. I don't think I have.
So if you were playing against him, how would you sum it up? If you were playing against him tomorrow, what problems is he going to cause you?
I would rather play against Declan Rice than Steven Gerrard, though, or Paul Scholes.
Oh yeah, there's no comparison for
me. Or Luka Modric.
Yeah, there's no comparison.
Or Kevin De Bruyne.
There's no comparison.
He's a top player, brilliant player, and he's going to be an amazing signing for Arsenal. But I think let's not get carried away here.
Okay, do you still think, or do you believe that Arsenal can be City's closest rival next season?
I think they were going to be. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get near them. But I don't think it's going to be as close as... I think there's going to be other teams that are going to come into the mix.
Who do you think?
I think Liverpool. I think Newcastle are going to be back amongst it now. I think they're going to be better. I think Man United as well.
I just look at Arsenal's front.
I don't think anyone can get near Manchester City. I think Arsenal are probably the closest team that are going to do that, and they're doing their best to get near them. If you start saying that they're going to win the Premier League, forget it. It ain't happening.
Okay.
But you know, when you look at the team and you think, right, you've got Declan Rice sitting, Odegaard and Havertz making that movements, runs and getting on the ball in the pockets. Then you've got Martinelli, Saka and Jesus. They'll give anyone a game in the world.
Didn't give Man City one last season, did they?
Oh, they're getting closer.
No, they didn't give them a game though, did they? He got pumped.
Yeah, I know, but they got Rice playing for him now. That's another addition. And maybe they struggled a bit when Holding went in the team. They need another centre-back.
Yeah. Very true.
We'll see.
You mentioned Mahrez as well, Jamie. Also on page 49 of The Sun today, Martin Blackburn saying that Riyad Mahrez hopes to seal a move to Saudi Arabia that will earn him an eye-watering £25 million a year. Manchester City winner is to schedule a medical in the Middle East this week, even though Saudi club Al Ahly are yet to agree a fee with the English champions. City could be tempted to cash in the 32-year-old who struggled to win a starting place at the end of last season. Good move for him, 32 years old.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're getting offered 25 million, it's a great move. I mean, how do you feel about all the Saudi Arabia stuff? I've not asked you.
Well, they just, it's like as if they're sitting opposite players with a pile full of £20 notes and I'm just going to keep putting another one on the table, another one until you say yes. We're not going to give up. But it is a bit of a shame if we lose the likes of Mahrez out that we're watching him play every week.
Yeah. No, I love watching him
play. But, for him, he probably thinks I can't turn it down.
You can't turn that sort of money down, can you, Shebahn? Let's be honest.
Listen,
I mean, it's easy for us to sit here and say
no judgments over here, yeah. No. I mean, especially if I think you are over the age of 30 and, he won't be starting maybe next season for City and he thinks, okay, well, then I'll go and get a big payday and set everyone up for life.
Yeah.
You can't I
think Ruben Neves come out and said it, didn't he? He was like, the biggest reason why I went here, and I'm not going to, say... Otherwise, it sets my family up, who are my number one trophy in my life.
But then cried his eyes out to the Wolves fans as if he was going to, I don't know, do something really terrible, mate. You're mented.
If you ask Dean Ashton, and you finished at what age? Were you back?
31, 32.
Dean Ashton was 26. Yeah. Ask him if he'd take that money now, when you can break your ankle tomorrow.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Money talks.
It absolutely does.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.